Let me create some green dye.
Dream is real.
Baby, because
hero
needs to be started second commencing.
Hi everybody, this is a quick video on encoding and which different types of encoding you can use while streaming with Gameshow. So first off, why do we encode video? In general, video is just too big for a computer and the internet and streaming destinations to handle in its raw form. So in order to make it possible to go onto Twitch or to YouTube and watch somebody streaming a video game, we need to compress that video, encode it into a smaller form, and send it out. So built into Gameshow, you have two options: CPU encoding or GPU encoding. When you're on a Mac like I am here, we have for CPU encoding X264 and for GPU encoding Apple H264. Now if you're on a PC, the GPU encoders will be NVIDIA NVENC and Intel QuickSync. So you can choose between those. And so what are the differences between X264, the CPU encoding, or the other three with GPU encoding? So CPU encoding is using your system's resources to encode that video. So if you're running Gameshow and a video game that you're streaming, maybe a couple other programs, and you're trying to encode, your CPU levels are going to go through the roof just because you're trying to do everything on your computer. Now, if you switch over to GPU encoding, you can kind of offload that encoding to a card inside your computer, which means you're going to see less CPU usage while you're streaming. Though there is a trade-off, because in general, the CPU encoding X264 will be better quality at a lower bit rate. So if you are going to switch over to GPU encoding, you're going to have to boost that bit rate in order to match the quality. So it's really up to you in the end. Do you want to do everything on your computer because you got a beefy system? Use X264 and leave the bit rate where it is. But if you think maybe your computer can't quite handle it, you're getting 60, 80, 100% CPU usage, maybe think about switching over to a GPU encoder and just boosting that bit rate, maybe up to 5500 kbps instead of 3500. That'll help to equalize out the quality and give you a really good stream when streaming with Gameshow. So when it comes down to it, two options: CPU encoding with X264 or GPU encoding with Apple H264 on a Mac, or on a PC, NVIDIA NVENC or the Intel QuickSync. If you are using those if you are using the GPU encoders, make sure to boost up that kbps before you start streaming.